the statement of purpose for this afternoon's activity to be given to us by Dr. Mauricio Platan, Education Program Supervisor.
Good afternoon, everyone. The Department of Education, Leyte Division, shall adopt distance learning through modular instruction as its main modality in learning delivery. This can be both print or digital. Based on the survey data from learners survey, learner enrollment survey form showed that there is a meaningful number of learners who have TV sets at home, which paved the way for Leyte Division to blend modular instruction with TV-based instruction, especially in case stages 1 and 2 or kindergarten to grade 6, where learners learn better through visuals. Fortunately, our office, through the strong cooperation of the School Governance Operations Division, Social Mobilization and Networking Unit led by Karen Barrell and Mary Ann Nichols, successfully connected with PR-TV12. For this school year, Tacloban and Leyte Division is given free air times of 3 hours Monday to Friday and 4 hours Saturday and Sunday. Tacloban and Leyte will collaboratively such that Tacloban City Division will produce TV-based lessons for Key Stage 1, kindergarten to grade 3, while Leyte will produce TV-based lessons for Key Stage 2, grade 4 to grade 6. Moreover, for areas that can be reached by PR-TV12 frequency, we will save all your videos in USB and provide the same districts and will provide to the learners with TV sets that has USB ports. PR-TV12 tracking is 20 minutes uninterrupted TV lessons, then 10 minutes advertisement, then continue for 20 minutes, then advertisement again. We propose to have a 1 hour per day and the entire 4 hours either Saturday and Sunday. This is still accompanied with activity and worksheets to ensure kids are learning, and for your assessment outputs, we are doing this because we want that all learners can be reached and learning is better. Inspiring, meaningful, and more effective with presence of teacher through virtual, a simple kumusta would be something for children. With all of this wisdom and effort, we immediately tapped our experts from Palo National High School, the coordinator, teachers, and previous students of a special program in journalism to work with us and come up with this design suited to the pandemic times. Thus, this virtual capability building of teacher broadcasters in the production of video lessons for TV-based instruction came with Division Memorandum Number 336 Series of 2020, disseminated to the field and integrated in the Division Continuity Learning Plan, which is conducted now and tomorrow, August 10 to 11, 2020. This is especially designed in half day only every day to give you an ample time to think and create a best scenario to come up with your video lesson output. The capability building is hoped to, 1, capacitate you potential broadcaster teachers on the production of video lessons for TV-based instruction that are MELTS-based, prepare and package video lessons to be showed on PR-TV12, Key Stage 4 to 6, provide USB with recorded video lessons to areas that can be reached by the frequency of PR-TV12, and deliver a blended distance learning modality in the division of Leyte, such as the modular learning with TV-based lessons, and effect impact upon Key Stage 1 and 2 learners amid pandemic. We are in this together. Every effort of this district counts. Each output of the district, when added together, will surely make difference in the lives of teachers and learners, parents and stakeholders as well. This is our purpose, and we continue to pray to God's guidance and blessings Good day, everyone.
Thank you so much, Dr. Mauricio Catan, Education Program Supervisor, for clearly discussing to us the statement of purpose for this afternoon activity. To give us helpful tips on the basics in delivering a lesson through TV, we have a master teacher too, and English department head of Law National High School. She is one of the Originate Pool of Scholars. She is a winning coach in feature writing, editorial writing, and radio broadcasting English secondary category. She is a technical working group member, a contest judge, facilitator, and resource speaker of Leyte Division. She served as a national writer during the development of assessment guide for evaluating student performance in the Enhanced Special Program in Journalism and national validator of technical specifications for the SPJ held at the National Educators Academy of the Philippines. She finished Master in English as a scholar of the Commission on Higher Education and recently she was conferred the degree of Juris Doctor. She recently received an outstanding campus paper advisor of the Philippines Award, National Rawa Journalismo by the Asia Pacific Awards Council Incorporated. Ladies and gentlemen, let us welcome our first speaker for this afternoon, Mrs. Marisa M. Herman.
Thank you, Sir Jerry. Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon, fellow teachers. I am going to discuss. Thank you very much, Sir Jerry. Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon, fellow teachers and all who are viewing now. My topic is about basics in delivering a lesson through television. As Sir Katan said earlier, yes, TV-based instruction, we are in this together. Whether we are ready or not, we should learn. Okay, so I will focus on the basics in delivering a lesson through television, but on the technicalities, it will be discussed by other speakers. Speaking in front of camera. Speaking in front of camera is something new to all of us because as teachers, before the COVID-19, we are used to talk in front of our students, tell them what to do, and then we can see them, we can feel them, we can touch them. But with the COVID-19, the TV-based instruction, it will only be me, for example, and the laptop. And then I'm just looking at you through the lens, imagining each one of you. So this might be a little difficult for all of us, especially for the shy ones. I am also a shy teacher like you, but I am very much open to learn many things because this is how we will be able to survive in our teaching new teaching a new method. All right, so even if you're doing a video using your pro equipment, your desktop or mobile device, the tips are the same. First, you have to look good and feel good. Earlier, all of my teammates were busy making ourselves ready. This will be a very difficult task, but then if we will feel good, this will be easy for us. So in your case also, before you handle your cell phone, your laptop, and do a video, You have to be sure that you look good. So you will feel good and you will be comfortable and you will have that confidence. Now, just a simple makeup will do. The usual lipstick, the usual blush on, the eyeliner, the Kila is Life, it will do. And for male, of course, even if it's pandemic, it's not a reason not to shave your mustache, not to shave your beard. Also, should have a proper haircut. Okay, for both male and female teachers, we are expected to also wear appropriate attire. When we say look good, feel good, we mean that we exerted effort to look pleasing to the eyes of our viewers. Second tip is to pretend that you are seeing the audience behind the camera. Visualize the audience as friends. Okay, so I am here and you are there. I do not see you really. If I look there, I am still seeing myself. So pretend that you are seeing the audience behind the camera. Visualize the audience as friends so that it will be easy for me, so I will be comfortable to talk about my topic in the same way with you. If you will discuss your lesson and you will feel that that passion for teaching is there and that you are imparting the knowledge that you should impart to your students, then it will be very, very easy for us. Okay, so that's the second, pretend that you are seeing the audience behind the camera. It is related to don't think of the camera as the camera. Actually, I erased this number 3 because it is related. So this is the backup copy. Okay, so don't think of the camera as a camera. Speak to the camera as if you are talking to its audience. As a teacher, when we do the video, we will not just think of this laptop as a laptop, but we will think that we are talking to the learner, so we will be able to carry out the objectives of the lesson. All right, this is very important. Number 4, relax. There's nothing more uncomfortable than watching someone who is uncomfortable on camera. Okay, so just imagine someone, a teacher who is telling us to do something but is nervous. Okay, can we believe that what the teacher is saying? Right, so perhaps no, because there is something that is not there. Confidence. Teachers should be confident. All right, so we can start with inhale, exhale, and smile. So this is very often when we start even in the face-to-face instruction. When we smile, we inhale, we exhale, and then we smile. When we do this, all our nervousness will go away at least. All right, so just smile and feel relaxed because anyway we love teaching. Next is the SMIZE, the smile or SMIZE and blink. I do not know if you heard already of the word SMIZE, but I'm sure you heard already of the word smile. So everyone, smile. All right. SMIZE, ladies and gentlemen, is a combination of smile in the mouth and smile in the eyes. SMIZE. When we smile, we don't only smile with our mouth, but also smile with our eyes. We call this as SMIZE. You will encounter this word in the many videos on YouTube, which means smiling with our mouth and eyes. In this new world, with the COVID-19, when we go out, it is mandatory that we are wearing our facial mask. Okay, so when we have our mask, when we smile, our smile cannot be seen unless our eyes will also smile. So SMIZE, all right? So, and also it's very important that we blink. Imagine yourself as a teacher and then you are having a discussion and you are not blinking. You are just focusing on the lens. Okay, how will you look as a teacher? So it's very important, ladies and gentlemen, to smile, smize, and blink. Let's try, everyone. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Smize. Smile in the mouth and smile in the eyes. And blink. Okay? So I'm sure that you feel better now. Please remember to smize. Even when you go out later, you have your mask, but then you smile. It's as if you are smiling already because of your smiling eyes. And of course, don't forget to blink once in a while. Alright, so we have here, when we smile and blink, we project positive vibes to our learners. It creates a happy feeling for us that radiates to them. Take note, teachers, we do not see our learners. Okay, we are used to face-to-face instruction wherein we can really tell them what to do. We can reprimand them if they are not writing. But this is already television-based instruction, and that in order for them to attend our classes online, for example, or watch our television time slot, we have to be friendly to them, okay? And we can radiate this one when we smile again and blink, okay? So as teachers, we really have to project that we are happy. Number 6 is good posture. Everyone, are you having a good posture now? I think some of you are lying down or or you are just doing other things. But then please remember always that when we teach, when we deliver, we really have to have good posture, whether we're sitting down, sit straight, or when we stand straight. Facing the camera to hopefully make a video on our lesson, we may feel uncomfortable, and the tendency is we sort of protect ourselves. So how do we protect ourselves? Sometimes we move our body inwards. So if we are uncomfortable, we move our body inwards like this, and we hunch. In what way we hunch is, what is hunch? Nakaob, and we look down. Okay, so this is how we sort of protect ourselves when we feel uncomfortable. We don't trust people who cannot make eye contact with the audience. Okay, so we do not like to do this to our learners. We need to have direct connection to the learners, teacher, learners, and we can do this by looking directly at the lens. Do you see the lens in your laptop? That is the hole there, and that when we see at the lens, we are directly looking at another human being in the eyes. So it's the same with when we teach already, okay? So our students, our learners, our pupils will be looking at us, and when we look at the lens, directly to the lens, then it's as if we are really looking at the eyes of our learners. Now, so we said earlier that when we don't feel comfortable, we tend to sort of protect ourselves, and then we do other things which make us not have good posture. How can we have good posture? Connect with your audience by looking directly at the lens. Smize, then chin up, and make sure that your shoulders are back and your back is straight. Okay? Did you get that? So again, connect with your audience by looking directly at the lens. So if you are holding a camera right now, just look at the camera. If you are using your laptop, you look directly at the lens. And then smize. Smize with your mouth, smize with your eyes. Okay? Then chin up. Okay, chin up. And make sure that your shoulders are back. Push your shoulders like this, and your back is straight. Okay, so we have that. Let's do this one. Everyone, look directly at your lens. SMIZE, chin up, shoulders back, sit straight. This is what good camera presence does. It creates a connection. Okay? So, number 7 is appropriate facial expression. When we are teaching, for example, in our case, I am a secondary English teacher. If, for example, the lesson is Sonnet 29 by William Shakespeare, I will not just deliver the sonnet in a very not moving facial expression. I will have facial expression according to the words, according to the feelings, according to the content of the sonnet. For example, Sonnet 29 by William Shakespeare. When in disgrace with fortune and men's eyes, I all alone beweep my outcast state, and troubled at heavens with my bootless cries, and look upon myself and curse my fate, wishing the like to one more rich in hope, featured like him with friends possessed, desiring this man's art and that man's scope, with what I most enjoy contented lived. Yet in these thoughts myself almost despising, happily I think on thee, and then my state, like to the lark at break of day arising, from solemn hearth, sings hymns at heaven's gate. For thy sweet love remembered such sweet rings, that then I scorned the chains my stayed with kings. Okay, so when you teach poetry to your learners, you will not just have a facial expression that is not really moving. You have to feel it. Okay, so also, okay, when you are teaching the difference between prose and poetry, you do that appropriate facial expression. Number 8 is make practice videos. We often hear practice, 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 practice makes perfect. So this is something not that we just need to do because we will be embarking on a television-based instruction. And as an objective, all of you, or not all of you, those who will really be interested to put up a lesson through TV, you will come up with a TV-based instruction. So make practice videos. The hardest part is getting used to seeing our face and our expressions. Sometimes we are the first to criticize ourselves. Like we will say, I don't look good. There is no sense in my video. I talk slow. I talk fast. And other self-shaming, but do it anyway. Okay? So have you experienced that, teachers? When we hold a camera, so camera is here, we take selfies, oh, it's ugly, and our tendency is to delete. It will be the same way when we are making videos, okay? It's all right to repeat and repeat and repeat until you will see that you become natural already. All right, so now, turn it on again. So do not feel that, oh, I will not do it anymore. It's not for me. No, do not do that. We have to embrace change. Turn it on again. Start talking. Start getting used in looking at your face and in listening to your voice on camera. Persevere. Diba, we have the saying, success is constancy to purpose. That is my favorite saying. Watch and take note of actions to be eliminated. Request a friend. Request your family, members of the family. Request your colleague. Oh, please watch this video. What are the things that I need to change? What are the things that I need to keep and improve? All right. So our goal here is to improve best practices until we look comfortable and natural. Right? The goal is for each person watching your video to feel that you are talking to them. Again, we are teachers. We will be teaching our learners. We have to be natural. We have to be comfortable. We have to enjoy what we are doing so we can impart our lessons to them. We can impart our passion we can impart our love for them. So in turn, they will be able to feel that love and persevere also. So they will be what will they become in the future? Okay. So voice projection or vocal variety. Love your voice. We all have different voice, ladies and gentlemen, but because we are teachers, this is our best asset. This is God's gift to each of us. Each of us have distinct voice that makes us as we are. We can enhance our voice projection on television by doing the following. Mouth exercise. Do you do mouth exercise, teachers? So during the face-to-face instruction before the COVID-19, before saying good morning class, do you do mouth exercise? Of course, we do. Okay, so in my case, I will share to you the mouth exercise that I use when I am training my radio broadcasters. And I also use this in my classroom. So we have here, I have, usually I give them 10 times, for example, 10 times brr. But in this case, because I have a limited slot, you will only have the 5 times brr, 5 times grr, 5 times qx. Remember when you have the qx, q and x, smile, q, x, inhale, exhale, inhale again, and release with a big huh. Okay, so when you do this, also your stress will be released. All right, let us try. All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's do the 5 times brr, 5 times krr, 5 times qx. Inhale, exhale, inhale again, and release with a big huh. Okay? Brr, 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 brr. Grr, 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 grr. QX, 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 QX. All right, thank you very much and very good for participating. Next, so we have the mouth exercise. We have to understand the speech process. All right. So this is the respiratory passage for the science teachers out there. Okay. So just bear with me as I discuss this skeleton. This is skeleton. All right. So we have here. Okay. So how do we produce the different vowels and consonants? How? When we talk. All right, that's it. It starts when we inhale. When the air in the lungs, do you see these lungs? Okay, when the air in the lungs is compressed through the action of the ribs and abdominal muscles. This compressed air travels upward towards the esophagus. And when it reaches the windpipe, do you know where your windpipe is? Windpipe. Windpipe is a tube in your neck and chest that carries air into and out of your lungs. So when we touch our throat, this portion, ladies and gentlemen, what do you feel? Okay, so this bone like this is what we call as the windpipe. This contains the voice box or the larynx, where the vocal cords are housed and sound is produced. So take note, it starts when we inhale and the air in the lungs is compressed through the action of the ribs and abdominal muscles. And this compressed air travels upward towards the esophagus. When it reaches the windpipe, it passes through the larynx or voice box where the vocal cords are housed and sound is thus produced. However, fellow teachers, the sound produced is indistinct and very guttural. You try. Put your hand on your throat, close your mouth, and say Mm. Mm. All right, you feel the pressure of the air trying to come out. The sound is indistinct, is not clear, and very guttural. The sound is made louder and clearer when it passes through the pharynx, the nasal and oral cavity, where it is resonated. When the different articulators move, the different vowels and consonants are formed. What are the different articulators? We have two kinds of articulators, the movable articulators and the immovable articulators. The movable articulators are the tongue. Okay, try talking without moving your tongue. Can you talk? No. Okay, because our tongue is a movable articulator and is very important when we talk. Try talking without moving your jaws. Here. All right? No, you will not be able to talk. You will not be able to enunciate because this is a movable articulator. This has to move if we will talk. How about the mouth? Can you talk without moving your mouth? No. All right? So, when these different articulators move, the different sentences, phrases, paragraphs, and everything that we would like to talk comes out. That is the speech process. That's why teachers, when you look at the video, when you conduct your lesson, see to it that you have this good posture, sit straight or stand straight, and then inhale, exhale. Try to relax first before you start your lesson. All right? So I think we're doing this already. Let's go to vocal variety. Okay? Vocal variety is related to vocal projection. This relates to how a person speaks. All right? So I will add S here. Sorry for that. Um, there are 6 elements: the volume, pitch, pace, pause, resonance, and intonation. We know about volume, relative strength, force, or intensity with which sound is made. Volume. Okay, so when we have this laptop, we decrease the volume or we increase the volume. That is intensity. Or we whisper or we shout. Vocal variety. The pitch is the highness or lowness of voice. A teacher may have a high pitch, always high pitch, or a teacher will have a low voice. Low voice. Class, good morning. Class, good morning. Okay, so it will depend on what is the kind of voice that you have. The pace, whether it's fast or slow, it will emphasize something. The pause, there is beauty in silence. We need to pause when we need to rest and then continue. Resonance, the quality of sound, whether it's deep and others. Intonation, rise and fall of the voice. Okay, how will our learners listen if we will have a monotone voice? Like all same. No, they will not listen to us. That's why it's very important to improve our intonation, the rise and fall of our voice. When we conduct our lesson, even a carefully crafted lesson can be ruined by a dull vocal voice. Okay? So please remember that when we do your video lesson. Number 10 is preparation. Preparation is key. Prepare, prepare, prepare. Research, have notes, make lesson plan, study, prepare needed things. Keep in mind that you are the expert of your lesson. All right, knowing what we will talk about and keeping in mind that we are the expert in our lessons will greatly help in making successful videos. pep talk ourselves. So pep talk. Do you do this? Before I start, I have to pep talk myself. I have to tell myself, I can do this. I love to do this. I like to enjoy because I studied. Okay, and this I think is an opportunity. In your case, it's an opportunity to also make a video lesson. We will be listening to you, we'll be watching you, we will be learning from you. This is the end goal of this capability training, that you will have your video of your lesson. Right. So let me end this one with there is no substitute to proper preparation and practice. Three P's. Proper, preparation, practice. It is the supreme art of the teacher to awaken joy in creative expression and knowledge by Albert Einstein. I hope you learn from me. This is Marisa Herman of Palo National High School. A wonderful day to all of you.
Thank you very much, Ma'am Marisa Herman, for a very informative talk on the basics in delivering a lesson through TV. Indeed, it's a challenge for us teachers to deliver instruction via TV. But hard it may be, I'm certain that it will be worth it. Agree? Okay, so we shall proceed to the Q&A portion. So if you have questions relative to the topic discussed by our first speaker, please feel free to post your questions here at the live event Q&A part. So we will only be entertaining maximum of 4 questions. And then after that, we proceed to our next topic. Are there questions, participants? So I think our first speaker was able to comprehensively discuss the topic that she discussed. Yeah, the topic. That's, uh, so we proceed to our second speaker. Thank you so much, Ma'am Marisa Herman. Again.
You're welcome.
So our second speaker is a technical specification curriculum writer for a special program in journalism, a content and language evaluator of grade 5 modules in English for recent materials covering milk. A special program coordinator of SPJ, served as school paper advisor for both the Cradle and Ang Duyan. She is a National Festival of Talent and National Schools Press Conference awardee in TV newscast production in the year 2012 and 2017. She is a Pasidungog awardee in the field of journalism year 2017. She is a volunteer reporter and script writer of Hope Channel, Central Visayas. Ladies and gentlemen, to discuss essential tips in producing a lesson for TV, we have with us this afternoon Mrs. Cynthia M. Agner.
Teams. Is it okay now, sir? For a while, just hold on while we are doing the technical stuff here. To share this. Okay, are we good, sir? Okay, good afternoon to everyone. Good afternoon to all our EPSs who are present right now with us here at the conference room. My respect also to our EPS in journalism who is watching us virtually right now. God bless you, ma'am. I hope you are well and okay, as well as your family. For all the educators out there who are watching us right now, my warmest greetings to you. I hope you are all good and all set for the upcoming opening of classes comes August 24. My task for this afternoon is to discuss to you essential tips in producing a lesson for TV. And I have here my slide. Let's not delay much. Let us move forward. So for those who are watching that have background in TV broadcasting, I do believe that you could relate easily with the processes that I am going to discuss. But note down that I have changes in these particular processes in consideration to our teachers who will be producing their lessons to be played on TV. Our provider for this particular aspect would be PRTV 12. It was mentioned in our state of purpose given to you earlier by Sir Maurice Catan in behalf of Ma'am Grace Villanueva. So what we will be producing in the next few days will be very beneficial to thousands of learners out there. And the output that we are going to make will not just only be played for presenting together with what you could see out there. I hope we are Sir Boholano. Okay. So I guess we're still good. Let us continue. I could still see my presentation out there. And the problem is I could not see the next. Okay, it's here. So what I was talking about is that the output that we are going to create will not only be played in PRTV 12, but also soft copies of this production, the produced lessons, might be copied through USB, and students or learners may play that one in their smart TV if they have one, or through their cell phone, so that as they go through our module, as they go through our learning activity sheets, they have a teacher, a virtual teacher, guiding them through the lessons. So what are the phases? I am going to give you three phases in TV production, but as I said earlier, there will be modification as to how to convert this one into packaging your lesson into a TV production. So the first phase would be what we call as pre-production phase. You can see in my slide, it is there. It is fairly a loose term which refers to the task undertaken before production begins. So all necessary tasks that we need to prepare must be run through during the pre-production. Exactly what is included in this stage depends on the medium and the situation. So it depends. I will be specifying subtopics here so that you will be guided before you do your production. Let's move to the next slide. It's not moving to the next slide for a while. Sir, it's not moving. So for a while, just wait, hold on. Hi to the journalists out there. Hmm? Naghang. So naghahang yung ano natin, slideshow. Nag-freeze. Okay, thank you, Sir Maurice. Talagang kilala ng laptop kung sino talaga yung may-ari. Because I am really just using Sir Maurice's account on Teams because per Sir Buholano, my ID, my what's this password was already forwarded to my school last June 14th, but up to now, we are still not meeting each other. So that's it. Let's go back to the next slide. So let the other slide. There. Basically, we're still under the first phase, which is the pre-production phase. The slide is not showing. The slide glided somewhere. There. So we're back. We're on setting target. What are the things to consider to set our target? First, of course, because this is for lesson presentation, we need to identify or make ourselves familiar with the most essential learning competencies that are identified, which might be used for TV production, because some are making lessons for radio production. And we need to make familiar with the target competency that we are going to tackle in that particular lesson production. After identifying the subject, the competency, so you are going now to prepare your DLL as usual. That's what a teacher does. So prepare the DLL. Now, after having your DLL, you are now ready to convert your DLL into a TV script. This will be the topic of our next discussion, how to convert your DLL into a TV script. So that's it. Target your, set the target for your lesson. Next is you have to consider your location. Where are you going to produce the lesson? In our case, because we do not have a studio, we just used a green screen, set up some of our existing equipment. Luckily, we were able to purchase some of the most important equipment like laptops, DSLR cameras, lighting, and those kind of stuff. So we used the principal's office to set up our mock studio for this particular activity. So we will be watching some of our outputs tomorrow. I hope you will watch how we came up with a lesson that will be played on television. So place of production is very important. You have to agree, especially if face-to-face is not yet really allowed. You have to identify a place where you and your production crew can agree and then start doing all the planning there. Next would be your production schedule. For your production schedule, you need to be mindful of your production time, of course, production dates, and how many days are you going to do a specific thing or that particular aspect. Take, for example, in this slide, I am watching into the slide. Let me lay the current slide for you. So it's a little bit delayed. I am looking now into a certain calendar that portrays there how many days are you going to finalize your script. Here in this particular illustration, you have 3 days to finalize your script, meaning to say from your DLL, you are going to finalize that DLL into a script. But for our case, we did it for around 3 days, sir. I mean, the script was 1 day and then production at once because we were really running out of time. We need to be able to prepare for this webinar and present to you all these things that we went through for the past week. Then you are going to have your script breakdown, your location scouting. Location scouting has something to do where you're going to take your taping, shootings, and all. Shot list, what are you going to do with that? So basically, you have to go through that one. You have to set targets. You have to know what must be happening in a specific time and a specific date so that you will be following your time on task. That is very important. Next, you have to mind your equipment. For TV production, we would like to encourage Core i5, Intel Core i5 to Core i7, but we also have other options like Ryzen and Ryzen 5, Ryzen 7. They could handle our editing software. The editing software that we are currently using right now is the Adobe Premiere, and Hand in hand with that is the Adobe After Effects. But we are also going to walk you through how to use your smartphones in converting or recording your lesson for TV. So that's it for laptop. Other things would be your DSLR camera if it is available. If it is not, of course, you may use smartphone. And when you record your video through smartphone, make sure to record your video footage through landscape because it will be difficult to scale it when you go now to editing, the editing phase of your production. Another would be, another thing that you would be needing would be microphones. Actually, for our production for the past 3 days, we are thankful that we were able to borrow a microphone that is quite good. That's why we were able to sync at once the video and the audio. Because sometimes if your microphone is defective, it will take long to edit that one when you go to the editing phase. So microphone is very important because once the audio of your production is problematic, of course, you will have to redo most of what you have taken and it will not be good because you will not be able to do your time on task. So you have to be cautious of the equipment that you are using. One experience of ours was that previously we would just check it, the headset, and then sometimes we would say it's okay, but when we go to the editing phase, it's too late because you have already taken the shots, the vids, and then all of a sudden when you go to editing, you would say you have a poor audio. And once the audio is problematic, then the entire lesson production would be problematic. So that's it. Next would be you have to consider lighting. In fact, actually right now they provided us with a ring light because the conference hall is not really that well lighted. So they have this ring light here. But in my presentation, though it's quite late here, you will have there a picture of how to set up your lightings if you have your Mac Studio. So that's an example of the lighting that you might have in your Mac TV Studio when you record your lesson for TV. Here is another example of lighting. This now portrays how you are going to place the lights because sometimes, yes, there is light, but the position of the light is problematic. So it is necessary that you have a backlight at the center front is called the key light. Then sides would be your fill lights. So any mishaps on the positioning of the light would result in shadow. Actually, in the lesson production that we did, perhaps you will be able to see a shadow apart, a little shadow out there because of the size of the green screen and of course the lights because our lights is not enough to cover the entire Mac Studio. So let us move. Next would be your green screen. What is the beauty of using green screen? Of course, when you are in green screen, you can do a lot of edits. Take, for example, you can choose your background. You can just download backgrounds that suits you and then suits the lesson also. It would be easy for you to add graphics and other enhancement for the particular lesson. You will see that once we play the produced lessons that we made for the demo teaching tomorrow. So you will look into that. Now, after green screen, There is a use sometimes of reflector, especially if the area is really dark, or perhaps there is no availability of natural light, or if you have to go overtime. Sometimes just like our case, our production time was very short, so we had to do overtime. It's like for today, we went home at around nearly 6 in the morning, took a nap a bit, and then run to the division office to present to you all these things. So reflector is also an important material that you would be needing when you produce your lesson. Now, also for the pre-production phase, this was mentioned a bit by the first presenter, but I would like to give you some tips on this one. In portraying yourself in front of the camera, it is useful sometimes when you assume a persona. You have to project yourself to be confident, even though deep down there you are really nervous. Just like when I started talking in front of the camera, it's really difficult to be talking to that little hole on your laptop. It's like you're out of this world, but that's the new normal. We can do otherwise. So now when you assume a persona, you actually condition yourself that this is your task right now. You have to deliver the goods and you have to do it well so that they will benefit from what you are doing. Many, in our case, a lot of learners will benefit from what we will be doing. So as we assume our persona, we have to mind our attire. Okay, so we are to be cautious of the type of clothes that we are going to use because this will be played on TV. This will be copied by a lot of learners. And of course, they will be looking at you. And it is true that the teacher is the first and the most important visual aid in teaching. So if you see the picture, I really chose those pictures that are decent, of course, not showing so much flesh. They are dignified and they are modest. The color choice, of course, is also to be taken care of. So why did I say this? We are to avoid overly colorful attire because the attention of our learners or of the viewers will be focused on you instead of the lesson that you are trying to deliver. And it distracts the visuals. It distracts the visuals. So it is good to use plain colors or solid colors. For example, here you have your red, white, black, blue. Those really look good on TV. So you have to choose the type of clothing that you are going to use when you become the lesson presenter that needs to be recorded. Then, by the way, you are to avoid also checkered, stripes, metallic type of clothing because it will reflect the light. And what about those stripes and those checkered? When the demo teacher keeps on moving, it doubles the lines, those lines doubles and it disrupts the visual effects of the video. And of course, the learner will not focus anymore on the lesson, but will be distracted of the images that they will be seeing on their screen. So basically that's it. And let's move. Another is makeup. So personally, I'm not the type of person who really wears makeup, but I did a little bit of it, just a foundation and do the kilay thing according to Mama Marisa. And if you look into the image, it's quite late. I know it's late there. What you are seeing there is still the type of clothing, but I am already talking on the makeup. So for the makeup, it is really a must when you produce a lesson through online or for television. Because take, for example, how you look at me right now. I did do some extra mile to put some liquid foundation, put on some lipstick, and then do the kilay thing. But as I face the light, everything fades away. See, it's just plain big Cynthia that you see there, okay? So we really need to apply makeup so that we would look alive, and because the light really eats up those colors on our face. So that's the reason why we really need to package ourselves. Here, another thing that I am going to tackle is the use of jewelry. You will be looking into a picture, and then one of the anchors is wearing this dangling, what's this, earrings. Though some in TV are already using jewelries, but professionally, it is suggested that we use minimal jewelries. Of course, you may be excited because you will be seen in PRTV 12, or your output will be seen in Facebook, and it will be copied and it will be seen by many people. And of course, some of us love to dress. Some of us really love jewelries also. So my take on this is use minimal jewelries. Use those that doesn't spark much. So diamonds are discouraged because it would reflect to the lightings that you have in your studio. And of course, if you have really big earrings and necklaces and bangles and so on, again, may not be focused on the lesson, but it may be focused on how you look, okay? And what are those things that you have on your ears, here on your neck. And if you will see the picture, there's no earring of this, what's this, anchor. She did not even wear earrings. The logic is to look as simple as you are, yet decent and presentable. Then we move. Now we are on the production phase. We have already planned everything, and we move to the next phase of our lesson production. For production phase, in the film and video production, this refers to the part of the process in which footage is recorded. When we say footage is recorded, it is using your cameras and taking videos, or the other term is taping. This is what most people imagine when they think of a film being made. So you imagine actors on sets, cameras rolling, lights, camera, action. The production phase is also known as principal photography. So that's another term for that. The goal of principal photography is obviously to record all required shots. So you already have there your script, and through that script, you would know what videos to take. What portions will your presenter will be seen, and what portions where you can add graphics or add some video clips or add some transitions, music beds, and many others. So that's taking videos, taping, or another term is shooting everything that you need to do. Then after that one would be your video editing. Your video editing stage is one of the crucial stages in TV production. This requires ample time. It is here where you add graphics, music bed, background music, transition, sound effects, mostly technical aspect of the video. This has something to do now with the techie people, those who can manipulate the editing softwares that you will be using. But of course, in the new normal, we are to learn this, we are to embrace this, and basically learn and relearn some stuff. Okay, so In the production stage also, you are to be mindful of your production crew. Of course, this is not a one-man show. Take, for example, we were able to make a lesson and it only runs less than 13 minutes. And in that 13 minutes, we were able to make an introduction, a program name, which we also used as the OBB, opening billboard. We also converted that one into the closing billboard at the end of the lesson. But if you watch it on screen, you'll just say, okay, it was so short. It was only 13 minutes. But mind you, many people were involved and a lot of time was consumed to produce that less than 13-minute lesson presentation. So be mindful of your production crew. Who are those production crew? You have your on-screen presenter. In this case, that is your demo teacher. That is the teacher is going to teach in front of the camera, and it will be edited and it will be packaged, it will be canned. That it would be easy to play at PRTV 12. The next is your floor manager. There should be someone who manages everything. Is it ready to take the video already? Is the mic working? The lights on? The green screen well placed? The surroundings? Because take for example, in one of the nights that we produced, it was raining heavily, and we really needed to stop the recording because it really disrupts the audio of the recording. So we really needed to wait until the rain stops and then start recording. And I guess it was already around 12 midnight when the rain really stopped. So those are the things that you need to consider when you produce your lesson for TV. Another would be your camera operator. So many people, or at least on our case, the first night, there were 4 who worked on this, on the production. And on the following day, there were 3 because it's more on editing. But if it is taping, if it is production, this really requires a lot of people because you have your cameraman, your operator, you have your teleprompter operator, you also have your makeup artist, you also have your floor manager. In my case, I became the makeup artist, instant makeup artist of Sir Jerry Sardinia here at my back. And I also became the floor manager. And when I went home, Sir Maurice had to be the one to do the task. So that's it, really multitasking. But one thing is for sure, this is not a production, producing a lesson for TV is not a one-man show. You really need a production crew. Next would be the third phase. The third phase is called the post-production phase. Post-production is the third and final major phase of the production process. It is often referred to simply as post. Example is, we can sort that out in post. There are some things that we may miss during taping or during shooting, but some of those can be, fast track. Some of those may be covered during post-production because you may add something to fill those gaps. But there are times that you really have to reshoot, and it would be very sad experience if you have to reshoot everything. I hope you will not experience this thing. Okay, so another is, there are many things which can happen in post-production. Common tasks include editing video footage. Okay, so when you shoot, there are some portions there that may not be needed, or perhaps you took it around 5 takes or 10, maybe perhaps because this is something new, perhaps your demo teacher is not yet relaxed or stiff, or just like the case of Sir Cherry, Ma'am Marisa told him to jump a lot of times so that he will be relaxed. So I hope you will also have that kind of attitude, the positive attitude. You will have the friendly atmosphere because it really makes the work enjoyable. I really love this team. Everyone was working hard and they do their initiatives. No need to be taught what to do this or do that. So it was very easy. The work the work was easy and fun. So in the editing of video footage, it involves cutting some portions or polishing some areas, and then sometimes also the voiceover or the record of the audio is not good, so you will have, perhaps the video is okay, so you will have to record another the audio and then sync that one through the editing software, which will be discussed again for those who already underwent TV production tomorrow. And for those who are new, don't you worry, you are going to learn a lot of new things in this particular webinar. Another thing is that in the post-production is where we put sound effects, music beds, transitions. That is also where you put the titles, the name of the lesson presenter, the production crew, everything that needs to be placed, that happens in the post-production phase. Then, in the post-production phase, in some cases, post-production is relatively straightforward. How does it happen? When all the staff or the production crew knows what to do, then it would be easy to go about with the editing phase. But of course, if the production crew are newbies, of course, the adjustment of the cameras, the volume of the mic, so there are some mishaps sometimes, and it would give us a different scenario. It would mean sometimes it would be a tedious work or another phase or another, it means another additional time and date and days of production. Also in your production phase, you process what we call as the color and exposure correction. All enhancements basically under the editing, it happens under the post-production phase. Also, adding special effects happens in the post-production. As I have mentioned, also the reshooting of some scenes, or the other term for that would be taking some pickup shots. But unfortunately, in most cases, post-production is a time-consuming job, taking longer than the actual production phase. Actually, if you are not going to retake, if the lesson presenter is really good at projecting himself or herself in front of the camera, because there are really teachers who are good in camera. I really saw teachers who are good in their vlogs, and it's amazing to look into teachers who are like that. Or if you happen to have a demo teacher who is like that, taking would be very easy. You may even have that one as a take one. Certain portion of the script would be a take one, and then it would be a good sign. So perhaps for running through your script and taking all the videos, perhaps you can do that half day, or perhaps one day if there is a need for repetition. But for post-production, before everything could be weaved into one single lesson that will be played for TV, it took us a tedious almost 3 days work for our editors to come up with that. And I hope you will be excited to watch that demo teaching tomorrow, because Much really is in store for you. I hope tomorrow you'll be able to watch that one. So stay focused on this webinar. And of course, I hope that you will learn a lot. So what are the three parts of your lesson production? Mind your pre-production phase. What are the things that you must prepare during the pre-production phase? Prepare your clothes, prepare your makeup, prepare your lesson, prepare yourself, your positive attitude, your positive vibration, everything. Just think positively. And then during the production stage, of course, you need your production crew. You need to be patient. You need to work as a team. That's what you need. Then, lastly, you will have your post-production phase where you would really need to have longer patience because it entails a lot of tasks, editing, cutting some portions of the videos, creating the graphics. In this case, uh, it was almost 2 nights or 48 hours almost na hindi almost 48 siguro or 30 hours na hindi natulog yung editors natin. And that's Matthew Jolo Palacio and Justin Pedrosa on our team. Now, what you can see, okay, it's not yet flashing, but the last the last part of your post-production would be your previewing. Of course, you have there a glimpse of what we worked on for the past few days. It's actually the editing software. You can play that one, meaning to say, everything that you worked on will be packaged into one lesson, and you are to preview everything before you finalize it, before you render that one. So you have to run through it, make sure that the video and the script really goes hand in hand, that the audio and video lock is really being followed, that everything that the script is saying is basically happening on screen, all those type of things. Even the music bed, you have to sometimes change the music bed because it's not appropriate or it's imbalanced, the colors and everything. So you have to go through that phase to make sure that everything is okay. And then after that previewing is of course the rendering of your package, saving that one, and of course submitting it to the EPS where whom you are assigned to, and you are going to submit that one before, it's 1 week before your lesson is really due at PRTV 12 because they really demand that lesson for that particular week should be submitted to their station 1 week prior the schedule. Maybe because they are going to go through some quality assurance check also, or some what's this uh, plagiarism issues or some other stuff. So that's it. I hope you will be excited to watch our produced product tomorrow. Be ready for the next presenter. Once again, this is your presenter for the essential tips, Cynthia Agner. Good afternoon. Thank you for listening.
Thank you, Ma'am Cynthia Adler, for comprehensively giving us essential tips in producing a lesson for TV. So now we proceed to the Q&A portion. So we have a
Okay.
question here from Ma'am Ritzy Pedrara Martinez of the Gami North District.
Yes.
So her question is, Ma'am, ano pong app ang gagamitin namin sa pag-video?
Okay, so for the application, I mentioned Adobe Premiere, I for the editing, and then Adobe After Effects, if you're familiar with that. But we have some options like KineMaster, or some pronounce it as KineMaster, if you are going to use a smartphone. And the one that I mentioned, when you use a smartphone, record your video in a landscape mode so that when you go to the editing phase, you will have no problem scaling your particular video. So that's it. And there will be some that Matthew Jolo Palacio tomorrow will introduce to you. Of course, we will start from easy to average up to advanced type of softwares to use in this particular production. I hope I answered your question.
Thank you. We proceed to the next question, still for the Q&A portion from Sir Jeffrey. Is it necessary to use the green background in doing the video?
In our case, because we really deemed it necessary because of the graphics. What we chose is a lesson for an elementary student. And if you choose to have a fixed background, say for example in TV newscasting, if you choose to have a tarpaulin, and then you have a fixed background for your demo teacher, it would be very difficult to add graphics. And in the case of children, you have to add visuals. You are going to see that tomorrow in the demo, that we really added visuals. In fact, we were even planning to have a paper, and a paper would appear, a ball pen, and then a ball pen will appear. But as we go through the editing and the video production, we really ran out of time. So these processes really needs a lot of time. You have to set your schedules well so that you can add more, because you know students or learners are visual learners. Most of them are visual learners because we are using TV. And with their module, then it would be easy to deliver the lesson that we are trying to teach them.
Okay, so we will entertain two more questions. We have a question from Ma'am Janet Rangiega. For the attire, are we allowed or will it be okay if we wear our school?
Of course, you can wear our school uniform. That's the most decent clothing that you can use, of course. Kasi, it shows your loyalty. But of course, right now, we are in the new normal. We are encouraged to use smart casual for a new look, right? And of course, our students, they are used to looking at us with our uniform. So they might want to see you with a new set of clothing, and then they would see, oh, you are using new package of yourself, and they will be excited. You know those kids, they love even watching our lipsticks, and they even appreciate, oh, ma'am tried a pink lipstick today, and it's really quite cute.
Okay, so there is, thank you, ma'am. Last, this is not actually a question, but I can maybe a favor.
Okay.
So, Ma'am Doralyn M. Catolico is hoping to receive later a file copy of the PowerPoint presentation presented since her internet connection is unstable.
Oh.
So, can the team provide a copy to the participants?
Okay, let's come to vote.
Yes.
But actually, it's okay. It's very okay. Everything that we prepared, we can share it too. It is our pleasure to share. But for our scripts, because we are still doing some editing, we can actually give some script as well as the video. So I guess tomorrow or after that one, depending on the availability of our editors. Okay? So I hope I answered your questions. Thank you for watching patiently. I hope you enjoyed and learned a lot during this presentation.
Okay, thank you so much, Ma'am Marisa Herman, our second speaker. So, I mean, send me after for our second speaker because I was looking at Ma'am Marisa Herman.
Okay. So, thank you, Sir Jerry.
Okay, ma'am. That was Ma'am Cynthia Arner. Okay. So So our third speaker for this afternoon is a participant in first SPJ industry immersion in Marikina City and other national training related to journalism. He is a TWG content judge, facilitator, and resource speaker of Leyte Division. He served as validator of technical specifications for special program in journalism held at National Educators Academy of the Philippines. Currently teaching journalism subjects, specifically TV broadcasting, and Filipino subjects at Calooc National High School. He has been a winning coach in varied competitions like TV broadcasting, collaborative desktop publishing in the division, regional, and national levels. He is also a winning coach advisor in the field of school papering in division, regional, and national press conferences. Awards including 7th place in editorial page Filipino during the NSPC 2016 at Coronadal City, and 7th place in Science and Technology page Filipino National Schools Cross Conference 2018 at Dumaguete City. Let us welcome our third speaker for this afternoon, none other than Sir Maurice J. D. Ansula.
Good afternoon. Hi. Medyo pagod na yata yung ibang makinig. But we need to continue, of course, the discussion, especially my discussion would be focusing more on converting our lesson, our SLMs, self-learning modules, and activity sheets, of course, into TV script. Okay, this is very technical, and I hope that you'll be able to, follow the things that I would be discussing to you, especially in converting your lessons into TV script using the TV commands. Okay, so let me allow me to please share to you my prepared slideshow presentation. So I'll be discussing to you, of course, first the script writing know-hows for television, particularly because we will not be focusing more on producing television newscasts, but more on really TV shows. So we make sure that we have a little bit of alterations that we use to when it comes to making or writing our script. Let me share to you this particular quotation. So in teaching, it is important that we have our lesson plan. And as we all know, the lesson plan is our guide. And it is really the soul of our instruction. So without the lesson plan, there is no effective instruction. But of course, the new trend now, because of the pandemic, we need to make sure that we look for an alternative way of presenting our lessons. And we are very thankful to the Leyte division, our division, that they were able to come up with this initiative of having capability training for, of course, developing TV-based instructions. So when we make lesson plan, we are guided that we follow the stages, okay? And we make sure that we follow it so that we'll be able to have a clear and good instruction. The same way when we are making actually our script in TV broadcast. So it becomes now the soul of the show, and without the script, there is no show. So we need to make sure that everything that we actually write in the script are guided with the principles that we have when we come or when we do teaching in classroom. But this time it's another medium, okay? So it's the TV that we are going to use, but in a way, you need to make sure that it is presented as if you are teaching our students. So we have two types of scripts. We have the anchor script and the reporter script for the usual TV newscast. Okay? So sa tatanungin nyo, teacher, alin dyan yung gagamitin natin? Hindi namin alam ano yung anchor script. May papakita ko sa inyo yung example, pati na yung reporter script. Yung script na ginawa ng team. For FYI, for your information, we don't have yet the generic script coming from the central office. What we did, the team came up with a particular script that is not too technical, that is understandable by the editors, because I believe that the TV team per area would be helping you in coming up with, of course, your video presentations or your um, classroom demonstration in TV. With the help of them, they would be able to come up with a good video. So there are technical terms that are familiar to them and might not be familiar to you, but we are rest assured that we come up with a simple and a script that is, of course, understandable for for teachers, of course, who will be starting their video demo through TV. Okay, so we have two types, and we have decided that we will be using the anchor script. Okay, so it's more on giving us the lead-ins. So how would we relate this one to our lesson? Okay, so what we're going to do is just put there everything. I'll be showing to you the sample script later. Put there everything that you would say in front of the camera. One reason why is it that we have actually chose the anchor script, because we believe that it would be useful when it comes to the production part of the video. So if we use the reporter script, it would be difficult for you to have that translated into, of course, a type of teleprompter. So we use anchor script so that you'd be able to be guided, not just for pre-production, but also during the production where it could be used as a teleprompter. Unlike if we use the reporter script, later I'll be showing to you the example. The reporter script, it is actually divided into two, video and the audio. But you could actually just use it during pre-production, but you cannot use it and have it as a teleprompter. So we have decided to have the anchor script or the lead-in so that you'd be able to use it also during production and also in the editing portion of your video. Okay. So, ano yung itsura ng anchor script natin for anchor script? Parang ganito lang siya. This one is actually taken from a sample script from a national training. Hindi siya masyadong technical. Mamaya papakita ko sa inyo maraming mga terminologies na ginagamit for anchor script. Well, napakadali lang naman sundin. This one is an example of the reporter script. Okay? So we have here the video, the audio, and it's quite technical because you need to make sure you follow every instructions given there. The shots, the type of shots, transitions, the audio that you're going to use. And like the general script, you can just actually do it because in reality, the audio, it could be altered during, of course, the editing process. Okay. So what we are going to focus now in the script that we are going to have is more on really the delivery of the teacher and how would we use that one as a teleprompter. Okay. Remember that the script is a conceptual map for your shooting journey. It consolidates research and outlines of the story, providing visual guideline for the shoot, especially when you take shots, when the editing comes, you need to make sure that you have your script. That's a flash shot. Okay. So we will have now the treatments and approaches in developing the script. So what are these treatments and approaches that we're going to use? You can actually choose just one or probably a combination of all the treatments and approaches that you're going to use in developing or writing a script. I'll be discussing to you, of course, the different approaches, just a little bit of it so that you'll be able to, digest it well. Kasi kung mas maraming di-discuss about the treatments and approaches, mas mahirap intindihin. So maliit na portion lang, at least you have the idea. And I will be discussing to you later what would be the effective approach or treatment that we're going to use, especially when developing TV shows. So our treatments and approaches are actually guides on how to put flesh into the script and a detailed summary designed to share writers or screenwriters' plan to script with other or before an actual script is written. So the first treatment is what we call straight narration or teacher approach. Includes narration of facts and messages in straightforward manner. So it means that what you're going to do is just present everything, all the information needed. So just have to narrate it and just present it immediately. So usually written in the third person. So when you say third person point of view, he or she, right? And this type of treatment is the most formal and basic way of presenting the subject matter. So we usually use this one for newscast, okay? But we can use this for your demo teaching and TV. The next one is the dramatic approach. So if you are well familiar with TV shows that would start with first dramatization, so we make use of this particular treatment. Okay, it consists of characters depicting various roles. Presentation has a conflict, climax, anticlimax, and resolution. So we usually use this kind of treatment for literature lessons, or probably we can use this one for values and integration to our lessons. So dramatic approach. You could start first with your probably first part of your lesson with dramatic approach, then followed by narration. That's what I'm telling you. It could be one or a combination of these treatments that you're going to use and put into flesh on your script. The next one is the you approach that we usually use also when it comes to developing our lessons. So audiences are addressed directly by the word you, employs the second person point of view, and script is written as the writer is talking directly to the viewers. So this is usually the type of treatment that we use for TV shows. Hello mga bata, kumusta kayo dyan? Nakikinig ba kayo kay teacher? So mga ganong bagay. Next one, we have the dialogue approach. This one is actually more on the radio base. So the basic element is conversation for dialogues. So parang lang siyang gamitin for TV. But kung meron man, siguro meron mga lessons na kailangan about conversations. So pwedeng ilagay yan na treatment doon sa gagawing TV show. The next is documentary approach, which is, I think, yung pinakamatrabaho sa lahat. Okay? So these are actually a combination of approaches with the use of video clips, sound effects, make presentation more realistic and credible. So we usually have to make sure that the viewers would be able to understand what we are presenting. Because mostly the documentary approach is used for high school, college, okay, approach. This one also is a little bit difficult, that abstract and symbolic approach when it comes to developing our script. So it includes sounds and abstract visuals. Idea may not be stated explicitly. And you need to make sure that the audience would be able to interpret what you are saying in there. So this type of treatment or approach is good for arts, but not really for scientific and technical, because it really deals way of interpreting it that it should be implicit. Okay, so we will have now the different principles when it comes to writing our script. We need to make sure that we choose the right treatment or the right approach for our script, because one principle when you are writing a script is that it should be time bounded, because broadcasting is constrained by time, right? So we are given, I think, 1 hour for the presentation of our lesson, 1 hour, 20 minutes, then 20 minutes, another 20 minutes for our presentation. So we need to make sure that we only choose approach or treatment that could be doable within that particular time frame. It should also be personalized. Okay? So knowing your audience is essential to be able to reach them effectively. Gather information about your audience, adjust the style, language, and content of your writing to your intended audience. So for example, this one is intended for kinder. The lesson is intended for kinder. So you need to make sure that it should be fit to those who are viewing it. So the way you present your lesson should be personalized depending on the type of viewer or learner that would be viewing your demonstration. So if it's grade 5, grade 6, probably you could introduce now a little bit of abstraction treatment. It depends on you. Then we have, of course, the third one. It should be clear. So what you're going to do, you need to put in the script, just choose the simple words, okay? And avoid long words when a short word will do. Okay? So you need to make sure that it should be clear, the words are clear, and you avoid long words if short words would be able to fit on that particular category. We have also, the next principle is be precise. So you use words carefully to provide specific meaning. So you say what you mean. You can actually use contractions, okay? For radio broadcasting, they would allow us to have contractions. So I have their examples. Like for example, will not, will use want, do not, don't, did not, didn't, okay? So that you could actually use those because it could be somehow familiar to the listeners. Okay, same with television broadcasting. You could actually also use that one, provided because we were thinking that these words are familiar to them. Okay, especially when they are native speaker of the language. Okay, but as much as possible in TV broadcasting, we make really use of the entire word. Okay, or we don't use contractions, okay? Because we believe that when we use contractions, when you try to read it in the teleprompter, it's difficult for the one who's reading it, okay? And contractions might somehow, let the readers get confused of the script. So what we're going to do is really to have the words as it is, especially when we are emphasizing important points. Be concise, okay? Every word used must have a purpose of being there. Replace a series of words or phrase with one word that means the same. For example, once a week. Instead of saying once a week, you say weekly. Give testimony. Say, instead of saying that, you say testify. So replace words that would definitely it means that you're being verbose. Okay? You need to make sure that if it is, okay, it has a particular or corresponding word for that particular phrase, then you just choose the word. We also need to be concrete, okay? You need to avoid vague and abstract words in your scripts. So concrete, just like what I mentioned earlier, we need to make sure that it's simple, okay? And mostly, we need to make sure that we always use action words. Okay? Nakikinig ba ang mga bata? Nakikinig ba kayo? Naintindihan ba ang mga sinasabi ni teacher? Sumulat sa papel? Kumuha ng ballpen? Those are examples that you usually need to incorporate in your script. Next one is, of course, be informal and conversational, especially that this is a TV show for kids. Okay, we are not actually having newscasts. So what we have actually in plan is having TV shows that are more interesting and more appealing to kids. Okay, so I know you're familiar with Batibot, Sineskwela, Matinig. Those are examples, okay, of TV shows that we could actually pattern. So those TV shows are a little bit not formal, okay, and they are conversational. So when we say conversational, you speak to the audience, you don't read the script, involve the listeners, talk to them in normal conversation. That's why in the script, we keep on emphasizing, you need to make sure that you follow the you do, I do, we do process in presenting your lesson. Okay? It should be readable. So broadcast copy must be smooth and readable. You avoid the sounds that could definitely be interchanged, like S and Z, tongue twisters, P and F. Okay, you avoid those if possible. You avoid alliterations or repetition of initial consonant sounds in two or more neighboring words or syllables. Um, I have there an example. Okay, so of course, if the lesson needs a particular extract from a poem that has this particular element, you need to incorporate it in the script. But when you are writing really for your dialogues for the script, you need to make sure that you avoid these alliterations. So you also need to avoid homonyms in English, especially. For example, address, address. So you need to make sure that you choose a particular word that would definitely be simple and the meaning is clear. Okay. Like for example, you say bright, it could mean one that is very intelligent, or it could filled up with light. Okay. Or fair, it could be it could mean beautiful or it could be quotable. Okay. So just make sure that you choose the right word that has really the right meaning. But if it could not be avoided, you can just make sure that you'll be able to pronounce the words correctly based on the meaning, okay, of that as it is used in the script. Next is observe the one idea, one sentence rule. Okay, so avoid overcrowding or too many ideas in the sentence. Um, you would be able to get the idea later when I present to you the script. Okay, there would be times that paragraphs are actually needed because it should be presented. But the challenge now is you need to make sure that it should be in a dialogue form and without, of course, overcrowding ideas in just one sentence. Okay. You need to provide phonetic spelling for unfamiliar words or jargon in your script. Okay, for example, reservoir. So you need to spell it out so that they will be able to, visualize or at least, try to explain the concept. What is reservoir? Okay, so they would be able to pronounce it when they deliver this particular script in TV. We also use transition words. Okay? Transition words are very effective when it comes to, of course, developing ideas, especially when we have this particular kind of TV show. Let's start first, second, then last. It would signify if you say last, it means that would be the last part of your presentation. They would know. Okay, so you need to make sure that you use transitional words. You repeat the message if necessary. Okay? This will make it more memorable for the audience. For example, the number you dial is 536243. Again, call us at 536243. So you need to repeat the message, especially when you are giving emphasis to that particular message. Okay? When you use abbreviations and acronyms, you need to make sure that you use them sparingly and properly. So in TV script writing, we need to make sure that we make use of hyphen, okay, when we use abbreviation or acronyms, for example, DOH. So D hyphen O hyphen H. So that when the program host or the teacher would be having the demonstration would read it, they would read it DOH, not DO. Okay? Okay, for International Monetary Fund, probably you could have IMF or everything, everything that needs to be hyphenated, especially when it comes to abbreviation and acronyms. So when you handle figures properly and round off figures, these are actually the principles that you need to consider. Almost 100 graduates have also filed a petition. So you need to make sure that you round off, okay, the figures properly. You need also to make sure that you spell out the words, I mean the numbers. Okay? You avoid using person's age in general with a number. Spell out dollars, cents, pesos, percent, kilograms, and meters. Spell out fractions like 1/2, 5.5. Spell out the numbers which are used in the beginning of the sentence. Spell out the numbers from 1 to 10 and use numerals for 11 to 999. So just like what we have for radio broadcasting also. Okay, so why is it again important to write the script? So it's because we need to plan out properly what to shoot. Okay, here it is imperative to start out well-written script, whether or not things change during the shooting process, and what is it that do you want to tell? So the script is really important to have that visualization. How can your script be compelling to your audience? Simple. The basic element of TV broadcasting is really visual. Okay? So you need to make sure that you make use of animations. Masyado bang demanding teachers? Pero ganun dapat. Okay? So we need to make sure you have infographics, graphics in there, animations. It should be more on really appealing to the visual sense. We also need to follow the three broad structural elements. So the beginning, the middle, and the end. Same with the lesson, right? So when you are actually having demonstration teaching and putting that into a particular TV based instruction, we also follow the structure, okay? So we start with probably your intro, VTR intro, then present your, what do you call that one? Parang, to make sure that the kids are, yeah, the motivation part. Then at the middle, you will have the presentation. At the end, you will have your extra. So later, I'll be showing you an example of that. So here are the guidelines for preparing the TV script. When it comes to page layout, you need to make sure that the copy blocks are properly done. I will be explaining to you later. Okay. Page layout. Usually follow it. We use A4 bond paper. Then the normal margins, left, right, bottom, top margins, one probably. For spacing, you do double spacing. For page numbering, we usually put the page number at the top right corner, maximum of 3 repetitions. You can put ellipsis or slash and write the first 2-3 words of the title. We do this also in radio broadcasting. But there is an update of the script when it comes to putting number. You can also write, instead of having it in the top right corner, you can, or have the repetition of 3 words or the title, you could actually put that on the bottom part and just put their page 1 of what particular page, okay? But of course, the proper way when it comes to have it, okay, is have this particular first three words, first 2 or 3 words, and put ellipsis or slash. For line numbering, we don't use line numbering when it comes to TV broadcasting. Okay, TV broadcasting script or TV script. For the source of sound, we can actually found them at the left portion of the page and indicate the type of sound to appear. For example, teacher Jerry, VO, teacher Jerry, OC. Later I'll be explaining to you what are those technicalities. So those are actually sources of sound. Dialogues. Copy block. You need to make sure that all letters are capitalized when you are writing the script, words to be spoken, and everything that will not be spoken, it should all be capitalized. Directions or commands are also capitalized and underlined, and we usually put asterisk before the first letter of the command. In dividing words, this is what I'm referring to. Okay, you need to make sure that you divide it properly. So never divide a word across a page or a word between lines. If a paragraph or sentence carries over the next page, try to break the copy at a comma or a natural pause. Okay, newscaster can change the page more easily. So we usually put more at the bottom part to signify that there is more on the next page, or you can have this page one of particular page. Okay. And the last one, of course, is putting the end mark in your script that signify that the script ends already. So you put end with hyphen. Okay. These are the different TV commands that I'm referring to. So we usually put asterisk before the first letter of the TV command. So we have the first one. The TV commands that I'll be presenting to you, by the way, are the TV commands that we usually use now for our TV script. Okay. So we have the first one, roll OBB. OBB means opening billboard. Okay. So that includes program name, station ID, what else? Probably if there is the network ID. Okay. So you need to include that one. Next is roll VTR. Okay, videotape record. And roll VTR style. This is not really used when it comes to television scripts for TV shows, but for TV newscasts, okay, it could be usually used. We have roll graphics. So roll GFX, that stands for graphics. Then you put underline over program host. Pardon me, there should be a space between over and program host. Okay, so roll graphics over program host. What does it mean? So you have there in this screen the host, and you would be overlaying animations or graphics. So katulad ng binigay na halimbawa kanina ni Ma'am Cynthia, meron ball pen at papel. Sabi ng program host, kumuha ng ball pen at kumuha ng papel. You would like to put animation or graphics of pen and paper. You overlay it doon sa program host. So that would be the applied TV command that is actually used. Next, roll VO. VO means voice over graphics, GFX graphics. So it means there is a graphics that is actually seen in the screen, but the host is not visible, and it's only the voice over of the program host. So the graphics, the voice over graphics. Okay. We'll have first role transition. So it means before you end every part, let's say presentation of your lesson, you need to make first a command or a pause, command for pause probably, that is role transition. We also have roll VTR intro. This is usually found in the first part of your script. Okay, so the roll VTR, videotape record intro, it means that the program host is giving an introduction of himself. So, hello mga bata, kumusta kayo? Ako si Teacher Jerry. Okay, so that would be the applicable command that we are actually using. So, what is this Jerry VO, Jerry OC? What does it mean? So these are actually the sound sources that I have mentioned earlier. So you need to put there the name of the teacher who will be demonstrating, probably the program host, Jerry, then VO, voice over, if it's voice over, And if the program host is being shown in the screen, the dialogue should have the sound source command Jerry OC or Jerry on cam. Okay. Roll AV or roll audiovisual is the same with roll VTR. Okay. The next one is roll VTR intro, extra I mean. Roll VTR extra, videotape record extra. It is found at the last part of your script. So, at dito nagtatapos yung talakayan. Sana meron kayong natutunan. Muli, ako si Teacher Jerry. Hanggang sa susunod, paalam. So, just like that one. Okay? The applicable command is roll VTR extra. We also have roll CBB. So, this one is usually found at the last part of the script. Okay? So, it includes credits, it includes probably you would like to thank your sponsors, okay, the team, the names of course, the team who composed or helped you in the production. So we usually put them in the last part of the TV script. So last two, ilang ano pa ba ito? Ilang slides. Pero kailangan ka lang i-discuss, sorry. So the next one is roll VTR not SOT. Means roll videotape record natural sound on tape. We usually use this one like science lessons. Okay, so there is a need for you to let your students hear the sound of the bird. Okay, so you need to make sure that you incorporate there in your script. Okay, the natural sound. So this is the applicable command. Roll VTR SOT sound on tape, the sound that you actually hear from the video that was actually recorded. Yay! Tapos. Okay, so let's go now to the sample script. Pasensya po, nasa Word po siya. And this particular script needs to be polished yet, so that is why we are telling you that probably we could share our materials tomorrow probably or on Wednesday, okay? But do not worry, we will have also, wait, kailangan i-share siya. Tama ba sir? Kailangan stop share. Okay na, sir? Okay. So this is an example of the script that I am telling you. We'll be sharing it probably on Wednesday. We need to polish first our script. So how would it go? It is a little bit, complicated for some who are starting, but I would assure you, when you get used to this particular commands, you'll be able to use them properly and convert them into this. So we started with roll OBB, that's opening billboard. Then after that, we have the command roll VTR intro. So it would signify that the first part of your script, so you have your self-learning modules, your worksheets, or probably your lesson plan. The motivation part and the introduction, the preliminary should be placed on this particular part. Okay? So after roll VTR intro, you put there, Jerry on cam. Ibig sabihin, makikita dyan si Teacher Jerry. Nakikita siya. Good afternoon, kids. How are you today? I'm your Teacher Jerry. Be with me as we learn a very helpful lesson that will make use in our day-to-day communication. Are you ready? Okay, kids, I want you to read. Okay, so makikita dyan, kasi yung sound source natin ay mula sa on-cam na sound. Okay, kaya Jerry OC on-cam. So you need to make sure that you divide every dialogues that you would need to put there, okay, into single unit. or simple sentence. Ganon. Then after that, role GFX over program host. So muli makikita si Teacher Jerry on cam. Together we read after the blink. Ibig sabihin dyan, ano kanina sabi, kapag role GFX over program host, nandyan si teacher nakikita sa camera, linagyan lang siya ng additional na animation or graphics. Kaya role graphics over program host. Follow? Okay ba? If you have questions, you could actually send it later dun sa chat box so that I could answer them. Okay. Then, role VO over GFX. Role voice over graphics. Ibig sabihin, hindi naman dito makikita sa part na to si Teacher Jerry. Tanging yung voice o boses lang niya yung makikita together with the graphics in the screen. Okay? Pagkatapos yan, you could put the role transition, what are the combined words that you observe in the sentence, nasa on-cam na naman si Teacher Jerry, then halfway, floodwater, midway, hillcrest, and hilltop. So, yung command na binigay dyan, role graphics over program host. So, nandiyan si Teacher Jerry at lalabas yung mga words in graphics, halfway, floodwater, midway, hillcrest. Then, role graphics breather, dahil masyado ng maraming graphics, hindi ko ito na-discuss kanina. Pag sinabing role graphics breather, yan ay nilalagay kapag masyadong marami na yung graphics so that it would parang a break or a pause before another on-cam. Okay? So, correct. Those are the words combined into one. What you observe in the first part of the lesson is actually more on giving us the bird's eye view of what to discuss later on the presentation part. But what the Teacher Jerry did, hindi niya ibinigay kaagad na yun ay compound words. So, pina-analyze muna niya sa mga students, halfway, floodwater, what have you observed with these particular words. Kaya kailangan mag-appear siya doon sa TV para makita ng mga kids yung mga words, and they would analyze, yung mga words na ito, pinagsamang pinagsama na dalawang words, half and way, flood and water. Okay. And after that, Teacher Jerry would present now, okay, that those words are actually compound words. Okay. Baka nahihirapan kayong intindihin na meron ibinigay na guide sa atin yung division, yung engage, explore, learn, engage, tama ba? Apply. Okay. So parang ganun dapat yung maging format nyo lang. Okay. So sa engage part, it could be a lesson review or it could be somewhat a motivation if it's a new lesson. Okay. So the next day, syempre ibang lesson yun, pero somewhat it could be related to the first lesson presented. Pwede kayo doon, yung mga naka-assign sa second day, okay, pwede doon yung first part ninyo review. Okay? Sige. Let's continue. So after that, first part, makikita nyo, i-represent na ni teacher yung about compound words. So lahat ng susunod doon, more on presentation. Nakikita niyo ba, na-visualize niyo, na kapag yung teacher lang yun nandun, tapos meron lang siyang, nakatayo lang siya, tapos nagsasalita without graphics or any visuals, siguro maboboard yung mga bata. So kinakailangan, you need to make sure that you carefully plan it out, what are the graphics that you're going to use, where to place them. So in the presentation part, makikita niyo, masyadong marami dyan yung mga graphics na inilagay sa presentation part ng lesson kasi nga what would happen could be, kids would eventually get bored if si teacher lang yung makikita doon at nagsasalita. Okay. Or another way yung talagang yung mga pro na when it comes to editing, doon sa presentation gumagamit sila ng mga animation. Okay? So wala na si teacher. Yung ginawa, nasa first part si teacher, tas sa middle part ng lesson sa presentation, meron doon parang alter ego niya, animation, na magsasalita. Sometimes in the presentation, we make use of, we make use of sample paragraphs, sample stories. Okay? So, doon, pwedeng ilagay nyo kasama ng graphics, yung mga animations na para may nagsasalita siya, okay, pero hindi na yung teacher. Pero for someone who would be starting it, you could actually start first with putting graphics. Okay? Ito, roll over graphics. Kalagay. So graphics lang yung makikita doon. It should also be a combination. So makikita si teacher, graphics naman, makikita na naman si teacher, hindi palagi yung nakasi. Except for that particular type of recording sa TV na gumagamit lang sila ng parang yung simplest way na mayroong chalkboard. Tapos doon sa chalkboard lang nila, hindi na kailangan pa ng green screen, nandyan na yung blackboard, tapos ilalagay lang yung mga graphics sa blackboard, nandiyan si teacher habang nagsasalita. Pwedeng ganon. Okay. So after that, more activities would be given, okay, by the teacher. So in the presentation part, you need to make sure that the lessons are careful. I mean, the lesson should be carefully should be presented well, okay? And after that, you need to make sure that you give lots of activities. Tandaan na yung kailangan po natin na airing ay 20 minutes, then advertisement, then another 20 minutes. So kinakailangan maraming activities yung ibibigay para sa mga bata. You also need to provide instructions, okay, in the script. Here's an example. Okay, so role transition, Jerry on cam. This is what you're going to do. Read and understand the passage. Figure out the meaning of the underlying compound word by looking for its synonym. Write your answer in your notebook. Ganon. So, dapat alam nila saan sila magsusulat. Meron din part doon, you need to get your ball pen, you need to get your notebook, or you have your module or worksheet. It's where you put your answers. Okay, you also need to make sure to put instructions. Saan nila isasubmit ang mga ito? Okay, nasa last part siya. When you're finished answering, contact the number of your teachers found in your instructional kit, or you could email or send message via messenger. So, merong mga part dyan sa presentation o mga activities where you do the activity at the same time, you answer it. Okay? Nasaan yun? Sensya po, sandali lang. Ito, halimbawa, nasa presentation siya. Jerry Vio, my bedroom is my favorite place in the house. Did you see any? Correct. Bedroom is a compound word. Okay. So, merong bahagi dyan sa script ninyo, sa lesson ninyo, na after activity, ibibigay nyo kaagad yung answer. Sa last part, meron naman doon na kinakailangan gawin nila independently at bukas or probably the time for retrieving, okay, your modules. Saka gagawin naman sa susunod na episode yung pag-a-answer ng mga sinagutan nila. Okay, so what do we usually do? So we put their graphics. So hindi ka agad ibibigay, my bedroom is my favorite place in the house. Did you see any? Correct, bedroom. So kinakailangan may pause in between. So sometimes we put graphics there, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Yes, the correct answer is bedroom. Ganon. Okay? So you need to make sure that you deliver it with pause, hindi yung dire-diretso. So presentation. tomorrow, Teacher Jerry would be discussing you how he actually came up with this particular presentation of the lesson. Okay. So, kita nyo, paramihan dyan, graphics. So, kapag graphics siya, again, I am reminding you teachers, kapag rolled VO over graphics, VO lang yung maririnig. Okay? Roll graphics over program host, naka-on cam siya. So, I'll be giving you the copy of this, do not worry if it's already polished. Sige. Towards the end, nandiyan na. We put now the extro part, roll, program extro, si Teacher Jerry on cam, yung sound source nasa on cam. Sabi niya, I hope you've enjoyed and learned from what we have discussed today. This is your Teacher Jerry reminding you to embrace the new normal. Yes to learning. See you next time. Goodbye. Then you roll the CBB. That would be the end of my discussion. Thank you. I hope that you've learned something from the discussion. If you have questions, Teacher Jerry. Sobrang haba, pasensya po.
Okay. Okay, wait lang.
We're just waiting for Teacher Jerry.
Okay, so we have, thank you so much, Sir Mao, Sir Maurice, Leyte, and Sula for clearly discussing your topic on converting the lesson plan to activity script. So we have a question from Anonymous. How many videos are being made on each week, Sir Mao?
How many videos are we expected to come up per week?
Yeah.
Yata masasagot ko yun.
Maybe
Si Ma'am Cynthia kasi siya po yung nakapag-attend ng last nasa PRTV ba? Tama. Hindi kasi ako nakapag-attend. Pero yung alam ko, per district, meron naka-assign na yata na particular milk objective. Sandali, si Ma'am Cynthia.
Hi, pasensya na. We are sharing Sir Maurice's team account. My knowledge about the production is way too little, but this was mentioned by Ma'am Grace Villanueva during our meeting. I guess this is per team, or there will be key persons that she will be assigning to. And what I learned, mostly for quarter 1, it will be assigned to area 1 for our initial planning. And of course, we only choose the EPSS only choose the competency that is suitable for TV production. So, chosen siya, pili lang siya, and then i-assign siya. So, kung sakaling i-assign siya sa isang teacher sa isang place, in-analyze na ng maayos na mayroon siyang help support. Like for example, mayroong trained TV prod team dyan, merong technical person dyan. They took everything into consideration before selecting those participants. Okay. It's very nice, Ma'am Arnett already have the schedule of this. So they already have this. I guess, Ma'am Arnett, it would be great if you will be the one to speak about this.
Thank you, Cynthia. We have our proposed assignment for TV-based instruction. For week 1, English is Haro 2, then Filipino, Tanawang 3, Math Palo 2, Science Tanawan 2, Oral Pan Alang-Alang 1, EPP Palo 1, MAPI Palo 3, ESP Santa Fe. For week 2, English San Miguel, Filipino Tolosa, Math Babatnon 1, Science Babatnon 2, Oral Pan Tunga, EPP Alang-Alang 2, MAPI Alang-Alang 3, ESP Pastrana. For week 3, we have Barogo 1 for English, Filipino Barogo 2, Math Kapukan 1, Science Kapukan 2, Oral Pan Kargara 2, EPP Haro 3, MAPI Haro 1, ESP is Tanawan 1 instead of Haro 2. So for week 4, English Dulag South, Filipino Dulag North, Math Dulag West, Science Dagami North, Oral Pan Dagami South, EPP Tabon-Tabon, MAPI Hulita, and ESP Lapaswan. Those are the first 4 weeks for the proposed assignment of TV-based instruction, but the whole schedule is already posted up to week 10. So, for those assigned in these weeks, please prepare your script, and we are requesting you to please submit them if you can on August 14, or if not on August 17, because we have to prepare for the shooting of these outputs for the TV-based instruction. So it's by district from grades for TV-based instruction, grades 4 to 6, since we are in charge of Key Stage 2 when we have to have this at PRTV 12. So again, grades 4 to 6, you can select what grade you are going to prepare, then try to have your script prepared, ready for shooting. So that's the plan of the division. Thank you and good afternoon.
Thank you so much, Arlet Bacnado, our EPS English.
Okay, so yun, nasagot na. Meron na palang schedule na mga weeks at ano yung mga subject na kailangan at anong mga districts yung naka-assign for that particular video. Thank you, Ma'am Arlette, for that. I hope that you were able to get it. Okay, meron pang
So,
question?
we have another question coming from another teacher, anonymous, or anonymous teacher, I mean. So we have here, magkano po rough estimate sa lahat ng equipments na bibilhin namin? So they will buy. Sige, sir.
Yung rough sa estimate, baka bigla kayong matumba. Hindi. You know what? Tomorrow, Jolo would be helping us to come up with video with just minimal production cost. Huwag kayong mag-alala. Hindi naman yun masyad. Meron naman tayong teams, TV teams per area na tutulong sa inyo, and they have actually, I think, available equipment that could be used for the production. So, parang sinabihan na yata sila ni Ma'am Grace na tulungan yung mga teachers per district or per area for their production. So, probably tomorrow, I think one of the speaker or discussants would be giving you options saan doon yung sa tingin nila makakaya lang with just a minimum production cost. Meron pa bang iba?
Okay, wait. There's another question here. Wait lang.
From Anonymous again?
Wait lang, sir.
Again, we will be sharing the script probably, if not tomorrow, on Wednesday. Kinakailangan lang po siyang i-polish. Tapos, kasama yung demonstration teaching video na ipapakita namin.
Okay, so we have our, there is another question. Is PRTV accessible in the whole province of Leyte? Because Tacloban is far from south of Leyte. How could students watch the video lesson?
Yeah, that's right. Meron lang talagang part na accessible yung PRTV. But I think it was mentioned earlier during the statement of purpose. Dun sa lumabas na survey, aside from, of course, having production for TV para sa PRTV, pwede rin natin gamitin yung flash drive. Doon nilalagay lahat nakasave. Kasi parang lumabas sa survey na marami din pala yung merong TV at pwedeng lagyan ng flash drive para mapanood yung mga video. So it's not just, of course, having the production for TV. We are very thankful that we were given the opportunity by PRTV to have a particular airing on the said dates. Okay? Aside from that, yung mga video po na i-produce natin, lalagay po yan sa USB at ipapamahagi for our learners. Yun yung pagkakaalam ko po.
They can use USB on OTG, and another is it can be uploaded
Yeah,
to
yun.
Facebook.
You have the
Okay.
OTG, pwedeng ilagay doon sa cellphone lang, mapapanood na nila. Okay?
Okay, so we have our last question from teacher Marites Bacate. Ilang minutes po ang maximum length ng video?
Kanina sinabi na yata 20, then advertisement, then 20. So para kasi class simulation siya. Kung napansin nyo kanina doon sa script, if you have observed in the script, it is actually as if you are having a detailed lesson plan. Okay? So para siyang detailed lesson plan. So it means that it starts from motivation part hanggang sa pinaka-end na assessment part. So we are very positive that we'll be able to come up with demonstration or some class simulation videos that would be shown in PRTV within that given time frame, 40 minutes. That's why I keep on emphasizing during my discussion that it should be more on visuals. Meron tayong iba't ibang treatment or approaches na pwedeng gamitin just to vary everything so that we'll be able to come up with a video na pwede doon sa time slot. 40 minutes yata if I'm not mistaken. 40 minutes yung kailangan. So 20, then advertisement, then another 20. So there are gaps. Merong first gap and then second gap ng maging production.
Okay, thank you so much. So we shall.
Thank you again. This is Teacher Maurice. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Sir Mao, for giving us a very clear discussion on your topic. Converting a lesson plan to a daily script. Okay, so we're waiting for our schools division superintendent to come for his message.
Okay, wait pa tayo kay Sir yata.
Entertain ko na dahil mayroon pa diyang question, Ms. Isa.
Parang nakikita ko na yata sa screen shares.
So at this juncture, may I call on Dr. Manuel P. Albanio, our schools division superintendent, for his message.
Good afternoon, everyone. Hello, good afternoon. First of all, I'd like to congratulate all our facilitators and everybody who actually make this capability training possible. I know all of us are trying to cope with the challenges of the times. Our curriculum has not been designed for this particular modality. Our curriculum has been designed for a face-to-face classes. But then here comes our visitor COVID-19. Everything has changed. And we'd like to challenge everyone to think positive of our situation now instead of complaining. Our learners deserve to learn no matter what modality are we going to use. I know there are those who are also asking why we should opt for TV education. Actually, it's not only about TV education, but it's about video education or video-based education. Tama yung sinabi kanina ng speaker, if PRTV is not accessible in your area, we can make use of the recorded video lessons through USB. If you have television at home, then you can play that. There are actually advantages and disadvantages if you are using if you are on air or if you are listening to or watching TV and playing a pre-recorded video, because in TV stations, airtime is only flashed once. While if we are using the audio-based instruction, if our learners cannot comprehend on the first play, they can replay it. But the point there is, as mentioned by our secretary, though pandemic is here, no? Though we are battling for COVID-19, education must continue. Given a very difficult situation, teachers can actually find solutions because we believe teachers are just like magicians. No? Teachers are very innovative. Teachers are very critical thinkers. Kumbaga, they can make things happen even in impossible times. I commend the efforts of all our supervisors for this initiative. I know there are so many challenges that we will be facing today, tomorrow, and the days to come. But positively thinking, we will be able to surpass these challenges. But what is important now is we will be able to deliver to our learners, no matter what modality are we using, that our learners be educated. We are pushing for one education or one town, one education system, one proud province. Since we are now not using our schools, no, because our learners are home-based, and our schools are actually not in use. Some of them perhaps are being utilized as isolation centers. We would want that our teachers will be serving in their own municipality, and that would, I think, be a wonderful move, and that's an opportunity for our teachers who are assigned in far-flung municipalities to at least think of returning home and serving their own municipalities. We will pilot this particular initiative in Tanawan. The concept there is, be it modular print, modular digitized, TV-based, radio-based. We dream for one education system for one town. We don't want teachers to be thinking this time of their parochial assignments, like I'm assigned in school A, school B, school C, or whatever school. We want our teachers to think universally that I am an educator and I need to be part of the education system, delivering what is required of us. For example, in one municipality, teachers are actually assigned in a specific school, but the residences may, in this instance, come like, for example, 2 teachers in one barangay. The 2 teachers are assigned in different schools. Now that learners are home-based, how will we assign them so that their efforts will be maximized. Those are some of the things that we need to think. But it's good that we have this option to have a TV based or audio based. At least it can supplement our main modality, the distance learning. So many challenges on our part, so many questions that need to be answered from the field, so many questions from teachers, so many questions from our stakeholders. Again, what I would like to ask our teachers, let us unite. No? There is a need for us to provide education and not
Okay, so okay. So there is a problem with the signal or connection. So indeed, it's true that according to Sir Manny, our learners deserve to learn in whatever modality. And though we are battling against COVID-19, education must continue. So before there is an announcement, Ma'am Arlette Labaclado will re-announce the assignment or schedule for TV modality for every area or district tomorrow. Also, the schedule will be posted on her Facebook account. So before we end our session this afternoon, let us watch a teaser of the demonstration for TV modality. Let's watch this. Good afternoon, kids. How are you today? So that was our teaser for the demonstration for TV modality tomorrow. Are there other announcements, ma'am, sirs? Wait a minute. So I guess that ends our webinar today. We are hoping to see you tomorrow. Goodbye. Have a good day, everyone.
Thank you.
Good afternoon, kids.